The ingredients in this recipe are 2 cups of oil, enough to fill 1 inch in a pan, 4 to 6 pieces of chicken breast or pork cutlet, 1 egg, 1/2 cup of panko or other breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper.
So for our cutlet or our paillard, we're going to start with boneless, skinless chicken breast. Remember, this is a lobe per person. I've got 2 here because I thought I'd show you both the chicken and I thought I'd show you pork as well. For pork here, I have some boneless pork chops here that we can use. So if you like pork or chicken or you want to do some of both, you certainly can with this recipe. It works for both really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil in my pan and start to get it hot. I'm starting on high heat. I can always turn the heat down if I want. I only want about 1 inch in the pan, so I'm saying about 2 cups of oil. It could be less depending on the size of your pan. The depth you're looking for is about, I don't know, about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch maybe. And that does it in this pan. 2 cups gives me the depth that I'm looking for, and I'm sort of preheating this as I prepare the cutlets. Now, one thing we can do is, for paillard, it means we've pounded it flat. So I'm taking a little plastic wrap here, and these are a little thick to fry. So I'm going to go ahead and put that chicken breast on there. I'm going to put some saran or plastic wrap over it, and then a couple things I can do. I can take a rolling pin like this, and what I'm looking for is about 1/4 inch in depth. Or if I have a little skillet, I can use something like this too. I don't need a fancy meat hammer or anything, and I can just sort of pound it out till it's nice and thin. And that gives me 1 chicken there. Let's do a pork. For this pork here, I got a little bit of silver skin around the edges. I'm just going to take that right off. Take that off, and I have a boneless piece of pork right here. I'm going to take a couple more pieces of plastic wrap so that I can pound it flat. And this pork should cook a little faster than the chicken because the chicken's a much larger piece than these pork chops. And again, I can just take this and pound it about 1/4 inch thick. And that's it. Now with frying, what you'll notice over and over is a lot of fried stuff either has a batter on it or it has some sort of coating or crust on it that we use. So we get that nice crispy exterior and a nice cook-through interior. It's just a hallmark of frying when you see it any time, whether you're eating a French fry or you're having a fried steak. And then for this, what we're going to do for our coating, we're going to go ahead and take a bowl here. I'm putting 1 egg in. And I have a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. What I'm using here are Japanese breadcrumbs. These are what we call panko, but you can use any kind of breadcrumbs that you like. I'm using a 1/2 cup in here for the coating. I have a teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt. And I have a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. So instead of seasoning the meat, I'm going to season the coating where it hits your palate. I'm going to just mix that up. I'm going to take a fork, and I'm going to mix the egg up. And what this does, it sort of acts like the glue between the breadcrumbs and the pork or the chicken. And that's all there is to it. We're ready to bread these babies and put them in our skillet. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one first. Now they say you should always keep one hand clean so you don't get elephant fingers on both hands. But I'm going to go ahead and dip the chicken cutlet in egg, and then in some of these nice crispy breadcrumbs. And panko has this really nice crisp exterior. Then I can come over and I can just lay it in the pan. And remember, I'm going to lay it away from me so I don't splash the oil toward me. So I'm just going to, it's already seasoned. We have our salt and pepper and everything. And I'm just going to lay that down in the oil. And you can start to see a sizzle. If your oil is not hot enough, pull it back out because it means your oil needs to come up to temperature a little bit more. Then we can go ahead and do one of these pork. It's going to go in the egg. Now you can't save these eggs or breadcrumbs. Once you've used them and had your raw meat in them or your raw chicken in them, you've got to throw them away if there are any extra. And I'm going to go ahead and then Lay that pork down in there. We're just going to give it a minute on that side, and then I'm going to take my tongs and flip it over. There's our pork, and here's our chicken. I'm putting on a plate, before I platter it for the table, I'm putting it on a plate with some paper towel to sort of take some of the excess oil off. Now I'm turning my oil off. Make sure you do that. Don't leave it running. Once you're done, and I'm going to bring these over here. That panko gives it such a nice crispy exterior like that. This is very simple, and it's really easy, and it's really quick. Let's go ahead and put the pork down. And again, if you do all chicken or all pork, it's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to just cut into this, and let's give it a little taste. Here. See how it's cooked through white. There's nothing gelatinous. There's nothing pink inside. It's cooked well. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste here. Delicious. Hot, crispy, everything you want in a fried item. So there you are, paillard, cutlet, schnitzel, scallopine. It's all there for you. And pork or chicken. It couldn't be a quicker entree item for your dinner.